Referees for today's game, Carmen John Domenico, David St. Hubbins, and Nigel Tufnell, who thinks the scoreboard goes to 11. Randa feeling it, shot goal! If there's a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Bob, can you tell me what the score is?
We are not at deuces, and that was a very nifty shot.
You are watching the Kelly & Associates MIAA Lacrosse Game of the Week presented by FCA. Last year, Calvert Hall and McDonogh met the championship game for the MIAA title, and the Cardinals took it home. Today, the Cardinals visit McDonogh to see who's going to make a statement this early in the MIAA season. Thanks for joining us here on the campus of McDonogh. Booker Corrigan alongside the Bob Shriver. Bob, Calvert Hall's number 1, BL2, McDonogh's 3. But who do you like and why do you like them today?
Well, I think McDonogh on their home field. The grass has been a great neutralizer for them over the year. Jack Simmons and Gable Braun both been nicked up before the season really got started, and they're back playing, and they're an integral part. We'll talk about them in a little bit later. But at home, a little revenge after the championship loss last year is on McDonogh's mind. I look for them to give a tremendous effort today.
And we saw both teams take the field today. There was some intensity amongst just them. The crowd's starting to build. Who do you like for Calvert Hall this afternoon?
Booker, we're going to talk about all their first midfield. Number 6, Jack Sawyer, a junior, headed to the University of Maryland. Number 10, Grant Mitchell, a junior, headed to Ohio State. And number 48, Cole Herbert, just a sophomore, headed to Carolina. But the 3 of them, the game we did a couple weeks ago with Gilman, they accounted for 6 goals and 3 assists. And they are a matchup nightmare for anybody.
And Cole Herbert was the Under Armour underclass player of the game in that one. McDonogh, you talked about the home field. Who do you like on the home team?
Well, we'll start with Gable Braun, the face-off kid from Florida who's just a sophomore, but he's a terrific at his craft, but he hadn't played up until about 2 games ago, and he's just working himself back in. I look for him to have a big game today. In the goal, number 26, Evan Long. He started last year as a sophomore. This is his junior year. He's terrific. He's capable of getting really, really hot. He's not the biggest kid in the goal, but he plays big. And then Jack Simmons, their best offensive player, a dynamic midfielder, one of the best in the country at his position, has been out until last week. He's played 2 games, and he's just rounding back into shape, and I look for Jack Simmons to have a big day today.
On Friday, we're over at Boys Latin, but today it is McDonogh hosting Calvert Hall in the Game of the Week, and it's going to be a big one.
Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll helps employers and employees save time, money, and hassle in navigating the intricacies of insurance, benefits, payroll, and workforce challenges. Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll is pleased to support CSE TV and the Game of the Week. Visit kellyway.com to put their people, technology, and services to work for you.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes engages their coaches and athletes to grow their faith through sport. Make sure you investigate the amazing camp at Lebanon Valley College this July. The FCA has camps, clinics, huddles, teams. Learn more about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes by going to fcalax.com.
John, McDonogh Stadium on the campus of McDonogh School. Booker Corrigan and Bob Shriver ready to bring the Game of the Week. First quarter brought to you every time by the great folks at the Valley Inn on Falls Road. Bob, here's 2 teams, and obviously the first thing we have to address is they played the Canadian national anthem to honor Dave Huntley, former coach at Calvert, who passed away way too soon. Some great memories with Hunt.
Anytime you ever were around them, they were always fun. He's a great guy, and he just wasn't an influence on Calvert Hall lacrosse. As the nice PA announcer here mentioned, he's one of the few guys that has ever been inducted in the Canadian and the United States National Lacrosse Hall of Fame.
And he was also a part of every time Canada won it, which included 1978, which is a team you were probably in consideration for. You are that old, Bob.
I was an alternate on that team.
That's what I'm saying.
I was.
I did my homework.
I don't think I would have made the difference in the game.
I don't think. Evidently, they didn't either. That's why you were. Maybe you would have. Who knows? The guys who were on there didn't. What a beautiful day. It's a little breezy, a crisp 55. You highlighted some guys for Calvert Hall. Jacob Kelly, word on the street, he's a little under the weather. I heard a guy in the bleachers talking about the fact that he may have spilled his cookies last night. That's an influence. I mean, Jacob Kelly can play ball.
What's the age-old story about guys sick?
Beware of the ailing golfer.
Yeah, well, what did Michael Jordan ring up when he was sick?
Yes, exactly.
One of the greatest scoring
players. Brett Favre, the day after his dad passes away, throws for 5-6 touchdowns.
Jacob Kelly knows what he needs to do. He's been here before. He can handle the sickness and the pressure. We're just looking for a big game, Booker. This is a big matchup in this game.
Goaltender for McDonogh, Evan Long. Short in stature, but everybody looks up to him, right?
And as I said in the pregame, he plays big. But the big talk in this game, Brian Kelly and Andy are both Calvert Hall alums. They played together for, I think, 1 year. Brian graduated in 87, Andy in 89. But this is the big matchup today, the face-off dot. Braun is a very skilled kid, and he comes away with the first one.
Catone facing off for Calvert Hall, and as you've heard, Braun for McDonogh. Braun's done a fantastic job. Here are the Eagles looking to clear, and right away, it is in the stick of Jack Simmons. He was out for a while, but he is back with a vengeance, some might say.
Jack busted a foot at the end of football season, but he didn't get surgery on it, I think, until end of December, early January. So he literally just got out of his boot about 2 weeks ago. Played a little bit last Tuesday in a game, and then last Friday he played a lot, actually, against Severn. Tuesday, it was his first game back against St. Mary's, a game that McDonogh lost, starting off in the league 0-1, wasn't the way they hoped to get it done. They seemed to find their mojo against Severn. They were down early in the fourth quarter against Severn and scored the last 7 goals of the game to go to win going away. So they seem to find themselves a little bit.
Simmons draws the slide, and it forces the errant pass, and now it'll be Calvert Hall's ball to clear in for Calvert Hall. It's so great to give Zungliaya a shout out. Here's Liam Dara, goaltender for Calvert Hall. And George Walsh. Walsh back to him inside middle of the field and to the long stick. That's going to be trouble.
2 bad passes one by Jack Simmons throwing off his back foot, threw the ball out of bounds, and then Calvert Hall's guilty of basically doing the exact same thing.
And they need to
it's
get
a hot,
in the
sloppy mess here.
Yes, it is, as I've heard before.
It's going to be Calvert Hall's ball. That's a bad call. That went right off the...
So it looks like
went right off. It should have been McDonogh's ball. It went off the Calvert Hall kid, it looked like. But maybe the ball hit the McDonogh defender's cross.
Little deflection. We got a backdoor side. That midfield 44, Trey Smith, now subs off. He faked to the midline very nicely and was open. Calvert Hall, Jacob Kelly, and this, of course,
Zach Green.
Here's
the first midfield we highlighted big time at the beginning of the show. In the Gilman game 2 weeks ago, last week, they initiated just about all the offense from in front of the goal.
And there's a good reason for that. They're exceptional lacrosse players.
And if we notice,
this is Cole Herbert.
There's a little fake flip. Herbert still has the ball. They ran a little mumbo play. And instead of Herbert throwing the ball out to 45 coming off the mumbo pick, he threw it to the picker, which happened to be Jack Sawyer's running mate. Nice little play.
Here's Calvert Hall running some offense. First quarter brought to you every time by your friends at the Valley Inn. Get to the Valley. Their upstairs room called the Valley Room or the outside patio. You can't have a bad time. Graduation parties, celebrations, anniversaries. As BJ Farrar, one of those kids who is just exceptional at long stick midfield. And as I say that, he responds with a dish and oh, what a save by Liam Darrow. No soup for you. Keeps it at 0-0. Save of the game so far, how about?
For sure.
Easy pickings.
Dara,
wow.
As you can see,
wow.
by just looking at him, he's a big kid. He stands tall in the goal. He's not afraid to get his body in front of the ball. And he also has had a terrific year and a half. Started last year and helped lead Calvert all to the championship. Game we saw him play against Gilman, he had a stout day.
Yes,
really
he did.
Terrific.
Yes, he did. Gilman's got some shooters this year. We'll see where the Greyhounds pan out. Inside shot, save long as he battled that one off.
Sawyer, they're initiating. Herbert fed Sawyer a second ago. That was Mitchell throwing the ball to Sawyer.
This is Herbert, 48 up top. Mitchell, 10 on the wing. Goes back to Herbert. Herbert with Alexi Thomas on him. Thrilled with his development. Cardinals looking to attack. Roll back, Zach Green, nice save by Long. Rebound pops out, but Smith comes away with it and goes deep across to Rich Dion. Dion switches hands, throws lefty right back to Smith. Easy pass means easy clear.
Got a slash on Jacob Kelly coming in from behind him. This will be a free play for McDonogh.
Here is Simmons. Jack Simmons for the Eagles, number 33. And, of course, a young man we got to know, Dane Swanson. Played fairly well against Calvert with 4 huge tallies in that one. Calvert, the number 1 team in the country, walking away with a 1-goal win against McDonogh. Here's Simmons, roll back.
McDonogh hopes to make this a 2-0, 2-for-1 possession score here. Win the face-off up a man. Nope, that'll blow the whistle. Win the face-off up a man and try to score on the extra man, but it didn't happen. Errant pass.
You know,
good pick up by Kelly.
In ice hockey, if you score during that stretch, the penalty's waived off.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Little
difference,
difference,
in,
little nuance.
In the two sports.
Flashing penalty.
Booker, the penalty on Jacob Kelly was Jacob riding hard. You know, he's guilty of swinging a stick and hitting a guy in the head, but he was riding hard, and that gave McDonogh fits in the championship game last year. They had trouble clearing. And I know Coach Hillgardner has spent a considerable amount of time, on clearing, preparing for this game.
Man Up's brought to you by Towson Hot Bagels, THB Bakery and Catering, Deli and Breakfast. Download their app, MyTHB. A little throwback after a sky whammy, bounce shot wide. Backed up by Maddie Hillgardner, number 4. Maddie certainly has all the attributes of a coach's son. Plays the game smart, clean, efficient.
Booker, what's that number out there that just took that shot? It's the one number that's tough to read.
Far side wearing the leggings.
Yeah, McDonogh's in a 3-3 here. The guys down on the goal line extended are really just a little bit lower than a pure 3-3. Nice feed inside, and Darrow standing tall again. You know, it looks like that kid threw the ball right in his stick, but the reality is Darrow had his stick where it was supposed to be.
He never even flinched. The penalty has now expired. Calvert Hall onside. Little transition opportunity. They're going to possess it for a minute. Zach Green will take it behind the cage. And Green now guarded by Dion. Jacob Kelly against Chris Smith here. Might like this matchup.
Yep, really good one. Power against kind of technique and savviness in a way. Jacob is probably giving away about 60, 70 pounds to Chris Smith.
Number 31, Tim Kronberger checking in the game for the Calvert Hall Cardinals. Along with 29, Ryan Swain. This is Kronberger. Kronberger driving, has a lane shot. Goal, Kronberger! A little inside. Acceleration, protect your stick.
Well, it's reminiscent of his of his father, Brian Kronberger, who never had a shot he didn't like. It was a great play.
He protected
by
his
his
stick well, used his
son,
shoulders.
Tim, watch. He's a big, strong kid, a football guy. He's just downhill running there, just gets in muscles, throws the ball down on the dirt, and gets a nice bounce off the grass, right up into the goal. McDonogh elected not to slide to Kronberger. I'm not sure whether that was a mistake on the defense or whether part of the game plan. Maybe that'll come to fruition as the game continues.
Catone against Braun at the faceoff dot. BJ Farrar on this near wing. And Connor Mayer, number 28, getting some action for the Cardinals. Mayer touches it in. Calvert Hall settles things up a little bit. Third member of our broadcast team today, Dan Aburn from Inside Lacrosse. Dan, what are you picking up down on the sideline?
What's up, guys? How big of a goal was that for Tim Kronenberger? We saw a Calvert Hall game last week where it felt like Calvert Hall's first midfield did not leave the field for the entire game. They go out, they get their second midfield in there, and they get a goal right away. They're first of the game. That's a big development.
That's a great point, Dan, to see the second midfield get on, and now the first midfield gets on as well. That's your boy Grant Mitchell. Big, strong, fast. And the shot was also, by the way, very well placed. That's why it's not soccer.
Downhill running. This time McDonogh elects to slide, but the slide's a teeny bit late getting to him. So Mitchell's allowed to get his hands free. He's a natural righty. The defender's doing the job that he is supposed to do, which is at least force him to his offhand. Mitchell, look at the placement of this shot. Watch this. And that's a beautiful shot with pace, low and away, with pace, with his offhand.
And very well placed. 2-0 Calvert Hall, 4:09 left in the first quarter. This is the Kelly & Associates MIAA Game of the Week presented by FCA Lacrosse.
The champions of today inspire the stars of tomorrow over Memorial Day weekend. Just as the stars of college lacrosse will compete for the 2018 NCAA Championship in Foxborough, Massachusetts, youth lacrosse players from across the nation will also be playing for a title at the NCAA Future Champions Tournament. Each team will receive 20 tickets to the NCAA Championships and have the opportunity to be recognized on the field at Gillette Stadium. To learn more, check us out at cselax.com.
McDonogh in the huddle. They haven't really done anything wrong. They find themselves on the short end of a 2-0 score. What's Coach Hilge imparting on the young men now?
It's early, plenty of time. Just relax. Bury the two layup shots that they had that Darrow's made terrific saves on, but nonetheless, they're balls that you're counting on throwing past the goaltender when you're one-on-one with him.
First quarter brought to you every week by the great people at the Valley Inn.
This is two sophomores battling it out. Maybe we'll see this matchup for the next better part of 3 years, really. This is
They can't leave early, right?
McPartland. No, they can't leave early from excuse me. Calvert Hall is not using Ham McPartland on the face. It's Catone, excuse me. He's just he's 1-2 so far. And this is where Calvert Hall really makes life miserable on you. They will ride you and chase you till you think you've crossed the midline, and now they're going to come at him, try to lock on everybody, and make it really difficult. Good job by Powderly to help his
speed of
clearing teammate.
That I've been thrilled with the way he's developed as a player. We should also add a young man from McDonogh, number 16, Andrew Hurdle, out with a concussion. He will be not playing at all today, not dressed, but was wearing his jersey.
This is Coach, is this number 4? Coach Hillgardner's son, Matthew. He is a attackman by trade, but when he comes in, because he's running midfield, they love to invert him, see if they can't get him behind the goal on a shorty.
Rolls back, strong left hand. Dara goes down to get it.
Dara's up to the task so far.
Now, when you play against the great riding team we've established, Calvert Hall loves to ride. Does that make McDonogh a better riding team, or is this a tough spot for them? Or are they losing on both sides of that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Both teams will ride you hard. Calvert Hall seems to have made that part of their DNA. Goes back to Bugliosi. The last couple years was a tremendous rider.
And they love to do it.
Tenacious guy, having a really nice campaign as a freshman out of Ohio State.
Patrick Fanshaw played in the Under Armour senior game. He was the Dickens on the ride. He would give you the Dickens. Some viewers who are younger than us might not know the word Dickens. This is Grant Mitchell. He gave him the Dickens last time he dodged on him, I'll tell you that. Here's Kelly behind. Kelly comes up left-handed, turns the corner, shot. Outside of the cage, whistle blows, not a big deal.
There's
Long,
Herbert way down riding. McDonogh ought to have somebody up in the middle of the field because that midfielder wasn't riding his man
position.
Per se. Yeah.
Here is Smith, far side for the Eagles. McDonogh in their home, white on white with nice bright orange numbers for the most part.
They just tried
Calvert Hall in
Calvert
red.
Hall with a little 10-man ride. Dion did the right thing and looked at the open goal, but Dara was in position to make the save.
A little slide dodge that time by Zungliaya.
Zungliaya's a big kid. Look how tall he is.
Zungalia. I knew I had it. Calvert Hall with 1:17 remaining first quarter. First quarter brought to you by the Valley Inn. It's much improved since the old days, folks. I'll tell you that firsthand. Be sure to stop in for lunch, dinner, or happy hour. The Valley Inn also shows all the MIAA games of the week broadcast in their bar, so come check it out. The Valley Inn, Falls Road, right off 695. The Valley Inn. Let's all meet at the Valley.
Booker, so far I know McDonogh wasn't sure whether they should poll two of these midfielders in this first group. They now just have the poll on Herbert. And so Sawyer and Mitchell both have good matchups. Calvert Hall's intent on trying to hold this for the last shot, but maybe not.
Yeah, it's tough to tell Grant Mitchell not to go to the cage when he can do this. Shot goal. You play for the last shot, you're right. Or you can tell Grant Mitchell to go do what he does. Oh, go do that voodoo that you do so well.
His second of the game.
It's hard for the viewers to recognize how big and powerful this kid is because when he stands next to Herbert, Herbert's big and powerful.
I know.
But this is just him overpowering the short stick, forces a slide, and he runs through the slide because he's got a little bit of momentum. He's just going to, he's like a running back going through. Honestly, he's like a running back going through a cornerback and just running him over.
Catone against Braun again. Alexi Thomas here on the near wing, along with Connor Mayer. Thrilled to see him out. Brown wins it to himself. Now Thomas comes up with it in and out of his stick, and here's Mayer.
Mayer hadn't played this year. He's just coming back. He's a terrific short stick defensive midi, wing guy on the faceoffs.
And now we got flags flying. Ladies and gentlemen, all these penalties are brought to you by Toscana Bagels. I saw 3 different flags fly. It's like Bastille Day out there, Bob. It's Bastille Day.
If Chad could back this up to the beginning of this scrum, I think we've got a potential penalty on Calvert Hall in the head, but then I'm not sure what's going to happen here on this melee.
You see the referees talking.
And McDonogh's going down on defense. Watch right. That's okay. There's a little push.
And then Mayer comes up with it and scrambles around. Now he 25 in white's going to get a penalty. I think Daniel Kelly then went and hit somebody. Mayer's down on the ground. That's as close to NHL playoff intensities I've seen in the MIAA in a while, Bob.
I think that McDonough's going to end up being on the short end of this with a penalty. 25 is going to get a penalty for unnecessary roughness, is my guess, Booker.
6. Yeah, 6 on 5, so maybe they only assessed 1 penalty. Keep it simple, right? Man, I'm brought to you by Towson Hot Bagels.
They're giving 20 a penalty. I don't know whether McDonogh has a 20 that we've seen out on the field.
Jackson Bonnets.
No, Jackson Bonnets has a broken hand, so he's definitely not playing.
Hey, Dan, let's get down to the sidelines and find out what you're hearing.
Looks like McDonogh's going to go down 2 men right here. We've got 1 a slash and then an illegal body check on that last call. McDonogh defense had sent out 5 guys thinking there was only 1 penalty, but it's going to be a 6-on-4 right here.
Ooh.
Well, they have the wrong number. The illegal body check, I'm almost positive, was on number 27.
Okay, or 25.
25, excuse me, and they got 27 in the penalty box.
They'll sort it out.
Well, McDonough's only got 1 guy in the box. They need to have 2 guys in the box if they're down 2 men.
Big Grant Mitchell, so far the difference in the game, 3-0. Calvert Hall content to just let it run out, especially with Braun doing so well at the faceoff dot. First quarter brought to you every time by your friends at the Valley Inn. Make sure you get to the Valley Inn for anniversaries, parties, celebrations, birthdays. That upstairs Valley Room is a special place. Make it a memorable night and have your celebration at the Valley Inn. This is the game of the week. 3-0 Calvert Hall.
At Toyota, we know the journey is as important as the destination. That's why no detail was overlooked. RAV4 is perfect for your adventures, with plenty of cargo space and available all-wheel drive. And with all these active safety features standard, we're always along for the ride. Now lease a versatile RAV for only $189 a month, or buy with $1,500 cash back, or 0% APR plus $500 finance cash. RAV4, your destination, our journey. What drives you? Toyota. Let's go places.
MIAA standings brought to you by Varsity Sports Network. Bob, you got BL taking the top spot there. Calvert Hall, too. Interesting.
Well, they're tied, really. They're both 2-0 in the league. St. Mary's has moved way up in the polls after their victory over McDonogh last week. They were off Friday. They're playing Loyola today in what is a really good game.
That's 3 against 5.
Severn has shown capability. McDonogh beat Severn the other day, so that standing will flip a little bit. Severn also has a game today against Mount St. Joe. No, Spalding's playing Mount St. Joe.
Here's Calvert Hall, 2 men up right now.
Severn's playing St. Paul's, excuse me.
Mitchell. Elardo, number 50, in. Jacob Kelly. Pass deflected. Daniel Kelly catches it, comes up with it, eludes going into the crease.
He stepped in.
Oh, they said he did.
Yes. Big play.
That is
here's
BJ.
BJ's got to get rolling here. Good play by Herbert to knock him out of bounds.
And they called a flag on Herbert. I saw the flag fly.
For a push from behind. This is a colossal break for McDonogh, something they really need big time.
That's actually a physical, it's totally huge break for the Screaming Eagles.
They were down 2 men. Now they're down 1 man with 30 seconds, 17 seconds left, and then they'll be on the extra man.
For Calvert Hall.
If you're Andy Hilgartner, do you start the ball
It's a 30-second
you're
well, you're
going to
give
13 seconds?
Most teams don't pressure too much when they have a man advantage. It's a recipe for disaster. Yep. You chase one of these guys that's got great speed, he's just going to run by you eventually. So,
and then he scores a man down goal, which is worth almost 1.5 because it's a morale kick.
Yeah, very much so. They're just going to hold the ball for the remaining 12, 11, 10 seconds of this penalty and have a very brief extra man. But that was a colossal break for McDonogh. Not just Jacob Kelly.
Right.
Daniel Kelly, stepping in the crease, but then getting a flag on top of it.
Sweeney, 32, top center. Number 18, Harrison Powers, the senior midfielder, or is that 10?
It's 10. Now, that's the one I had trouble reading on the other side of the field. That's Harrison Beatty, just a sophomore. We're all even.
Here's Sweeney, 3-0 Calvert Hall, second quarter of the Kelly Associates Game of the Week presented by FCA Lacrosse. McDonogh home whites, Calvert Hall road reds, Booker Corrigan and Bob Schreiber, along with Dan Aburn. Bringing the call from McDonogh Stadium. 2-man game behind Powderly. Comes up lefty, rolls back for his right, moves it. Great play. Beatty now near side. Sweeney,
Good
spinorama right at
defense.
the blue line.
Sorry, good defense by Calvert Hall. They slid and recovered. Very
This is
impressive.
Simmons rolls back and moves it. Now it's behind with Powderly. Powderly against the short stick ball, somehow bobbled, push called, and now it's Calvert Hall possession. McDonogh, they need to take the lid off that basket, and I think they're going to really feel a lot better about how they're running offense, because they seem like they're doing okay. Am I off there, Bob? Or they?
I think they're having trouble beating their man. Calvert Hall's playing exceptional defense, and right now the difference seems to me the two big saves by Dara on extra man and in an unsettled situation. And then defensively, so far, Calvert Hall is exerting their will, if you ask me. McDonough's having trouble getting to spots that they're comfortable with.
This is Jacob Kelly, number 9, already named to that Under Armour senior boys game, the highest honor a boy or girl high school lacrosse player can receive in their career, to be capped off as a Under Armour All-American. Bob, you've coached a couple of those. We don't need to go into all of them, but a lot of them have gone on to great things at the college level as well.
We watched one play on Sunday night. Logan Wisnowskis, just a freshman at the University of Maryland's having a wonderful start to his campaign.
Mitchell rolls back, throws it to Herbert. Near side, Daniel Kelly. Backed up by Calvert Hall, and it's going to be Cardinal possession. Second quarter brought to you by Mason Dixon Lacrosse. Green rolls back.
Well, Calvert Hall's winning the matchup in the midfield. This first midfield is, as we said, they're really a tough matchup. There's a good shot right off the lower post by Sawyer. That's his 4th shot in this game. Mitchell's got a couple. And Herbert has yet to shoot, but he's helped set up a real nice look early in the game. McDonough's going to have to try to sort out what they're going to do with this big kid, Mitchell. He's causing them fits.
Behind to Kelly. Now it's up top with Kelly. Over to Sawyer. Now it's up top with Grant Mitchell. Cole Herbert now for the Cardinals. He plays some catch on the near side with Sawyer, and now it's a wing dodge opportunity. Jacob Kelly behind, has his defender Chris Smith hung up. Long comes out, making the distance greater for him.
They could
and now
warn
the shot
Calvert
clock.
Hall, and they did. Calvert Hall's done nothing. He just stepped in the crease.
Interesting to see a veteran like Jacob Kelly do that, but I guess shows you the game's not as easy as it looks from up here, folks. McDonogh gets the clear. Liam O'Hara, junior midi for the Screaming Eagles. Nice job by him. Unselfish, flips it to the right guy and gets off the field.
This would be a good time for, as you said a second ago, for the Eagles to put one in the back of the net.
Take the lid off. Yeah,
take the lid off. Coming in with their first midfield, Swanson, Catlett, and Jack Simmons.
This is Catlett. It's clogged up a little bit. Credit nice defense by Sawyer. Sawyer showing he's a little bit of a full field. Catlett saved by Dara.
Dara's cool, calm, and collected so far in this game. He looks terrific.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes huddles, camps, teams, building three-dimensional athletes and coaches. Learn more at fcalax.com. Calvert Hall with a nice clear. Lexi Thomas now sharing some lumber, but Calvert Hall escapes. And Trey Smith had a great goal against Gilman last week.
He did. He's one of those unsung heroes, short stick defensive midi who's exceptional at his job. This is that second midfield that scored in the first quarter. Kronberger scored a nice alley dodge, dunked it right-handed, bounced it right up into the corner. He's running on midfield with Ryan Swain, and the other member of this group rolls behind the goal. That's number 17, Justin Mintzert. Calvert Hall does this a lot. They flip they put Zach Green up in front of the goal, and they take one of their middies and put him behind the goal.
This is Jacob Kelly testing the waters against Smith. And now Daniel Kelly pushes it.
This is a good matchup for, not a good matchup for Jacob Kelly. Smith is a big, strong, powerful guy.
And works on his footwork constantly. What drives you? Shop Toyota. Uh-oh, here comes something from the Cardinals. Ball pinballs off of Jacob Kelly. Toyota for legendary safety and reliability. Toyota, let's go places. The official vehicle, MIAA Lacrosse.
Look at how quickly Calvert Hall got in front of that clearing defenseman and turned him back to make this clear a little bit trickier.
And it certainly seems to have worked so far. And some lumber flying as well. And Calvert Hall comes away with a great.
There's that
Zangalia with the ground ball pickup.
There's that ride we're talking about. Calvert Hall now with what we call that second chance opportunity. They frequently will come back and bite you.
Still just 3-0 here in the Kelly & Associates Game of the Week, presented by FCA Lacrosse. Booker Corrigan and Bob Schreiber bringing the call.
Booker, I'm looking at Jacob Kelly. You mentioned he wasn't feeling too well. He doesn't look very well out there on the field. His shoulders are slumped a little bit.
Although he's played perfectly fine, but not up to his normal standard. Here is Kelly behind. Quickly moves it up to his brother, Daniel. Daniel gets some lumber there. Inside shot save long after all the whirling.
That was a
Kelly.
Hell of a play by Daniel Kelly. He went through a couple guys.
And
this is unbelievable. McDonogh, this is a third chance now that Calvert Hall's in. A third
Coach
chance.
Hilge's going to take a timeout. That is a great timeout by a veteran coach. Andy Hilgartner won a championship here at McDonogh, led him to semifinals dang near every year. 3-0 still your score, but the McDonogh Eagles are coming to get you. There's your NCAA lacrosse rankings. Bob, you got Maryland in the top spot. Albany, their only loss to UMBC. University of Maryland, Baltimore County. The fact that they're still at second is a little suspect. I like Cornell. I like Loyola. I like Hopkins.
We got a huge game tonight for you lacrosse fans. Cornell is playing Syracuse tonight at 7 o'clock.
7 against 9.
Denver on Friday night last week scored 15 goals in about 20 minutes and just pasted Villanova, put on one of the great clinics of all time.
Hey, Dan, let's get your opinion on the rankings right there. They're pretty suspect, although I think we'll see where Denver ends up at the end of the year.
Yeah, after Friday, there was a lot of concerns about Denver's offense, and they answered that with 22 goals, 18 of them coming in the first half. And afterwards, all the players basically said, we were tired of the critics criticizing our offense, and they wanted to go prove how good they were, and they sure did. Ethan Walker in that game was especially on point with 8 goals.
They certainly do seem to be able to flick a switch. Well, zone defense now for the Screaming Eagles as Herbert carries it up top. Herbert, your Under Armour underclass player of the game the last time we saw the Cardinals, but they certainly have 6 or 7 guys who could win it on any given day. Here's Kelly. Calvert Hall's now deciphered that it is a zone, and they're in their zone offense. Daniel Kelly rolls it back up top to Herbert.
They've been warned once already, Booker, and so from a referee's perspective.
But the refs know it's a zone for the first time, too, so they're going to give them, they should give them an extra 4 or 5 passes, in my opinion. I only get 1 vote. I don't think I'm right or wrong. I just think that's what I think.
Well, we'll just see.
Oh, shake and bake. Woof.
There's the zone paying dividends.
Those were
but
quick
now
feet for
they got to
man.
clear the ball, and this is proven to be a problem. Look at that. They're just throwing it up the field. That's not ideal. And McDonogh does not have a timeout left. This is a fourth chance opportunity for Calvert Hall. It's really hard to give a quality team like Calvert Hall this many chances. And what a save by Long.
What a save by Long. Inside shot.
And then they throw the ball away. Fifth chance. Fifth chance, Booker. I've seen teams respond 3 or 4,
but it takes them 3. Yeah.
The 5 is it's a tall order.
It's a bit excessive, isn't it? It's going to 11. I wonder if they can get 11 chances. The clock has now squeaked below the 2-minute warning. And Bob, I got to tell you, it's awful nifty to have weather like this, don't you think?
I wouldn't classify this weather as nifty, but it's better than what we've had this past week.
Better than the last time we saw Calvert Hall, Ace.
Yeah.
That was a choking cold. Oh, nice pickoff. There's your zone defense paying some dividends. Now let's get it up. Let's not go 6 chances. Screaming Eagles need to dent the twine here before halftime. PJ Farrar.
They actually might have a break here.
This is
great
Casey
hustle.
Settleman.
Look at Mitchell get back on defense. Nice play by the big man.
See if Settleman can get off the field without letting Mitchell off. He now takes Mitchell to the corner. McDonogh has their D guy off and their midi on.
And Calvert Hall is playing defense with their 3 first midfielders, all short sticks. McDonogh likes what they have an opportunity to get here, which
Griffin
is
Catlett bearing in.
Their defensive has been stellar.
This is Powderly. McDonogh has not had a chance to run offense. They got a couple quick shots.
2 sophomores matched up there. There's
Great
a pipe
bounce
shot
off the post, and Calvert Hall's going to come up with it momentarily. That's a best-case scenario for McDonogh right there. And it still could have been a shot. We're going to have a timeout by Coach Kelly with 28 seconds left. He has a point, though. Bob, could that have been a shot? Still?
It was a shot. I don't know what 47 was thinking. He could have just walked that ball out of bounds, and they'd have gotten possession. Instead, he goosed it back into bounds, back into play. McDonogh ball.
3-0 Calvert Hall.
Represent for Rough Rider Nation. The Rough Riders have been on top of the game since 2007. Rough Rider alums continue to shine and won national championships at all levels. Rough Rider teams dominate the countryside in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and now Virginia. Check us out online at roughriderlacrosse.com. It's time to ride or die.
1, 2, 3, ride! Press Box and Corrigan Sports have teamed up together to provide high school Lax fans with a weekly high school lacrosse newsletter. The weekly email features local boys and girls rankings, key upcoming games, and info on key players and coaches. To sign up, go to pressboxonline.com/lacrosse. We got your 3 topics. Respect for Naptown, St. Mary's, Spalding, big wins. Obviously the Retrievers, that doesn't blow my hair back. But the real CSE TV with 3 awesome back-to-back-to-back games. Bob, how happy are you about the schedule that we have today?
Well, anytime you get to see quality MIAA games, I think you can't go wrong.
And quality MIAA teams
and
face
quality
them off.
MIAA teams. We're not seeing the best of McDonogh Eagles, but Calvert Hall has had an awful lot to do with that. Great saves. Only 4, I think, for Dara, but they've all been quality. McDonogh just hit a pipe there. But tenacious ride by Hillgardner just hit a pipe. Here's Simmons.
Great rebound.
Plays.
Here's one. Oh, off the back of a Calvert Hall player. Ball pinballs in the air. 7.2 remaining. Nowhere near 7.5 seconds. Barely 7.2. Now it's down to 5. He runs a lap around
Another
the cage.
pipe. That went off the top of the pipe. 3 pipe shots in this flurry for McDonogh.
Your halftime score.
Don't go anywhere. The Training Lace halftime show is right around the corner. We got another part of the Under Armour undeniable thing, but Training Lace, get in a workout anytime you want. Walking the dog, you can get in a workout. Go to traininglace.com to order yours now. Training Lace is a comfortable, flexible training weight that can be used to build muscle in any sport or fitness activity. Get yours at traininglace.com. We'll be back.
Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll helps employers and employees save time, money, and hassle in navigating the intricacies of insurance, benefits, payroll, and workforce challenges. Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll is pleased to support CSE TV and the Game of the Week. Visit kellyway.com to put their people, technology, and services to work for you.
Undeniable, the road to the Under Armour All-America game.
For me, the ocean's always just been, like, it's just been right there. There's so many things to do. It's like the biggest free playground ever. So I really grew up there. I grew up close to the ocean wherever we lived. One of the biggest things that I did with my dad before he passed away was he surfed and I surfed, and we spent hours in the water. And, like, I mean, we would be in there from 8 to 12. Get out, eat, back in the water. It's a great place to kind of get away from everything.
Jake's been in the spotlight since a young age, but Jake loved his dad. They're very similar. Jake shows leadership and charisma and signs of a role model in all facets of things, but to also handle as much adversity as he's had to handle at such a young age and still be that guy is pretty impressive. It wasn't easy. You know, he's a very old soul and a very mature kid, and he's had to grow up pretty quickly.
When Jake was 16, his father, Junior Seau, a California native and 10-time All-Pro NFL linebacker, passed away unexpectedly at the age of 43. After his death, Chargers president Dean Spanos described him as an icon in our community. He transcended the game. He wasn't just a football player. He was so much more.
Being a Seau, you know, like it's always expected, oh, he's going to play football. And I thought the same thing because he was naturally talented.
He was playing Pop Warner football, and then in middle school he was playing flag football, and then of course in high school he's expected to play high school football, and even as a freshman he was playing varsity. And so that was always sort of a natural thing, you know, kind of grew up around it. It's part of our history of our family.
Football was always there for me, but I never really fell in love with the sport the way he did. And I think that's just the difference, is that I was around that sport so much, and I grew up around it, that I was kind of tired of it by the time, you know, I was 16. I'd spent 16 years living, breathing, eating football.
And when lacrosse came around, it was something that he wanted to do every day, and it wasn't like he had to drag his butt to practice and do sprints. Like, he wanted to get better, and that's something I hadn't seen from him before.
I always wanted him to play whatever his heart desired and whatever his passion was. I never, ever was the mother saying, no, you have to play football. This is in your genes. I always wanted him as a young kid to blaze his own trail. Even though Junior would love him to stay in football, I was really pleased with Jake and really proud of the progress he was making and seeing Jake's enthusiasm for the game.
For me, lacrosse was always it. I was looking forward to practice. I was looking forward to working, and I think that that's what made me realize that lacrosse was really the sport for me.
While Jake chose to follow a different passion, he still inherited several of his father's admirable traits.
He definitely saw his father's work ethic and being dedicated to a sport and your teammates and your coaches. I think that's very important in his growth, because anytime you're a successful athlete, it doesn't come easy. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication, and I know he realizes that.
He was always in the weight room. He was always working. He was always watching film. He was always doing something to better himself at, you know, his trade, which was football.
Jake's the same way. I mean, Jake never misses practice, never misses a lift. He's a born leader. People just naturally gravitate towards him, and he just controls the team or the room. And I think he's inherited that work ethic and leadership from his dad.
I think that's the sort of thing that you can't really teach or coach a kid. I think that desire and that work ethic and that passion, it has to come from within their heart and their soul and then their gut. They have to really want it. I know Junior didn't really understand all the ins and outs of lacrosse, but I know he was happy to see his son doing well and doing something he loved.
he's also a big pioneer for the West, and that kind of empowers him and drives him. He wants to pave the way for the younger guys below him.
I hope there's some opportunities out there for him to grow the game and to be a part of whatever it is. But, you know, I'm a mom. I just want to see him happy and doing what he loves to do.
I can't really see not being involved in it in the future. I think that growing the sport in the West, the ball's already rolling. It's going to progress to the point that a roster full of 10, 15 West Coast guys for some of the big-time D1s isn't going to be weird.
He's excited about his future playing Duke in the next 4 years. I said to him, number one, you're going to school to get a great education so you can be a productive person in life and enjoy these 4 years. You know, these are the last 4 years of lacrosse you may have. And he said, oh no, Mom, I'll be playing lacrosse forever.
Presented by Corrigan Sports Enterprises. Events from conception to fruition. Produced by Jalbert Productions International.
At Toyota, we know the journey is as important as the destination. That's why no detail was overlooked. RAV4 is perfect for your adventures, with plenty of cargo space and available all-wheel drive. And with all these active safety features standard, we're always along for the ride. Now lease a versatile RAV for only $189 a month, or buy with $1,500 cash back, or 0% APR plus $500 finance cash. RAV4, your destination, our journey. What drives you? Toyota. Let's go places.
The MIAA is the most competitive lacrosse conference in the country. The 2018 MIAA Lacrosse Semifinals and Championships will be held May 15th and 18th at Towson University's Johnny Unitas Stadium. For a glimpse into the future of the collegiate game, the MIAA, where the stars of tomorrow play for a championship today.
3-0 Calvert Hall here at McDonogh School. First time these two teams have really met in an important MIAA game since last year's title match. Obviously right now Calvert Hall with the advantage, just like the rug ties the room together. Halftime highlights and stats tie the game together. Bob, goals for Calvert Hall.
First goal, Tim Kronberger making a nice dodge, throws the ball down hard on the ground, and this is the big, strong, powerful Grant Mitchell with his left hand, offhand, and here he's just going to overpower the slide guy. He runs right through it. He avoids the tackle, basically, and buries it, and then here we see Dara just making one big save after another. There's another nice one. He stood, not on his head, but this is a tremendous save by Evan Long right there. McDonogh sorely needed something good to happen. This was oh, look at that save. Sawyer's been open on the crease, number 6, who just got stuffed there. He's been open on the crease 4 times in this game, and he hadn't buried it.
These are your Training Lace halftime stats. Thrilled to have Training Lace on board. Go to traininglace.com and order yours now. Bob, fairly balanced. The face-offs are 2-4 turnovers.
Booker, I'm going to actually say the turnovers should be much higher on McDonogh's end. We had that possession there near the end of the second quarter where they turned the ball over 5 straight times. So they gave them 4 straight times. They gave them 5 possessions to score a goal. So other than that, saves are pretty even. Face-offs look pretty even, obviously. EMOs, both of them are 0 for. Neither team has an assist.
Cause turnovers. That's that. I think an intern's getting fired today, by the way.
Well,
because whoever's keeping the turnover statistics they might be asleep at the wheel. Because I watched McDonogh throw the ball into the bleachers a couple times on the clear, and that's what Calvert Hall makes you. That's credit to Calvert Hall. If you're McDonogh, if you're Joe Benson, offensive coordinator here at the McDonogh School, what are you doing to make something happen?
Booker, I really think they just stick with what they've been doing. They again threw the ball in the goalie stick early in the first quarter, and then right there before halftime they had 3 quality looks. They hit 3 pipes in the last minute and 10 seconds. So any one of those could have gone in and changed this to a 3-1 score. It's clearly right in their grasp. They just got to go out, and you can't score 3 at once. Just do it slowly and methodically, one at a time, is what Coach Hilgardner's telling his kids. Coach Kelly saying, keep doing what you're doing. They've been playing outstanding defense, riding really well. They've gotten Mitchell free once, and they got a kind of a bonus goal out of Tim Kronberger. He's running second midfield, and they don't see the field too much in a close game.
Yeah, as we saw last week, they played Gilman, and they did not do a lot of midi sub, and they got him going a little bit. We're getting back to the face-off. Dot, Braun kind of nodded at deuces on the face-off wins with Catone. They got B.J. Farrar with a short stick on the near wing here going against Trey Smith, two players who I think the world of. B.J. Farrar has done everything in his career except make the Under Armour All-American Senior Team, so I'm sure Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 4 just might. They might not.
Now, you mentioned Wave 1.
You never know till you know, you know?
You mentioned Wave 1. We actually have two local kids. Jacob Kelly, you mentioned earlier, and then Matt Brandow from Boys Latin is also on the Wave 1. And that announcement came out last week, and Matt showed up pretty good against Gilman the other day with 6 goals.
He did. He responded. I know he gets the pleasure of playing down there with Brendan Grimes. B. Grimes.
Both of those guys are having big games today. Boys Latin's playing John Carroll and winning pretty easily. We unfortunately haven't gotten the updates from the Loyola St. Mary's game or the St. Paul Severn game.
Dane Swanson now topside. Third quarter brought to you by Columbia Bank. McDonogh shot goes wide that time.
Griffin Catlett, who's got a cannon.
Ball checked away from Powderly, and now Calvert Hall will have to clear. A little pressure on him right now. Ball lobbed into the middle of the field.
Successful clear. You don't see Liam Powderly lose the ball carrying it very often. Big number 35 for Calvert Hall. Garrett Zangalia wrapped that stick around Liam, put the ball on the ground.
Jacob Kelly now shares it with Zach Green, number 22. It's all the way up top with Mitchell. He plays a little pass with Sawyer, and now it's back with Mitchell.
McDonogh is sticking with the defensive matchup, sticking a pole on Herbert and leaving Sawyer and Mitchell to the short sticks. Booker, I just got an update from that Loyola St. Mary's game. It's 6-6 at halftime.
Who's winning? The Bears?
Apparently, St. Mary's goalie, Alex Fyock, has 14 saves at halftime.
Good gracious.
Bad pass by Herbert. Good pickup by Chris Smith.
The Eagles' Alexi Thomas rolls back, gets it to Smith. Here's Long. He's going to go quickly to Rich Dion. I've seen these clears before.
Calvert Hall has them right where they want them. They're riding.
Yeah. They've raised some havoc. They haven't cashed any in yet. Past the midfield, and the Eagles with the clear. Banking made easy. Go to Columbia Bank. They're proud to be the official bank of MIAA Lacrosse, and they're also happy to watch games. I know a bunch of those guys, the executives, love to go to the Valley Inn and watch the games. So hello to those guys.
Well, aren't they watching this game at the Valley Inn right now, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. It's on in the bar room.
Booker, on that last clear, I looked over at the McDonogh sidelines, and I can see Coach Hillgartner let out a big exhale.
Little tiger fist pump. Tiger. I think the Masters is coming up, isn't it? A couple weeks. It's right after the Derby. Dane Swanson gathers the top middle of the field. Eagles really need to take the lid off. There it is. If you will it, it is no dream, dude. If you will it, it is no dream.
McDonogh changed their formation here a little bit. They went 1-4-1, and that sometimes creates some confusion about sliding on the defensive end. Look, Swanson just kind of overpowers number 6, Sawyer, gets his hands free and throws a very hard, solid bounce shot. From a goaltender's perspective, when you're playing on grass, you have no idea where it's going to bounce. Is it going to bounce high? Is it going to bounce low? Is it going to bounce true? That
he
it
stayed
typically
medium
does.
and it stayed low on him. I saw Andy Hillgartner's mom and Hillgartner with a little fist bump on that one. Despite your years of employment at Calvert Hall. Who doesn't love Ann Hillgartner, by the way?
She's
fantastic human.
Like.
Yep.
Oh, what a powerful play by
Here's
number
Gable
14.
Braun.
Whoa.
Braun hits the point man. Screaming Eagles with a save by Darrow. Rebound over the cage, and Calvert Hall gets the backup. But there's a flag, so McDonogh will still have possession. They wanted to cash that one in. How's that for Cap?
Cross check. Number 14, Gable Braun, ran through this cross check. If Chad has a chance to back this up to the beginning of this fast break, right at the midline.
Against number 14, Calvert Hall, Jack Connolly.
Back up. This is another great opportunity for McDonogh. They had an extra man right at the end of the first half, albeit just a brief one.
I'll tell you what,
this lead.
This McDonogh man up better be ready to take on the Catalina wine mixer right now. 3-1 with a goal here, Bob. With a goal here, they can cut it to 3-2. How's that for Captain Obvious stopping by the booth? They're down 3-1. If they score here. Oh, yes, they can.
Goodness gracious.
Big time, big shot. Welcome back to the scene, Jack Simmons. Catch me in the kitchen like a Simmons whipping pastry.
This is going to be a great angle for you fans because the camera's over on this side of the field, but they just ran a little 3-3 with a left-handed rotation. Simmons starts on the crease, goes to the goal line extended, and then he gets up to this high wing. And watch the placement of this shot. Look at that. He's got about 2 inches in between the pipe and Liam. Watch this right here. It's coming back. See 9 cuts through. Look at that. He has no room in between Darren and the pipe, but he found it. Impressive.
As he does his best Rosie O'Donnell impersonation. Camera on him. These are high school kids. They don't know a camera's on them all the time. B.J. Farrar with the ground ball pickup. Here's Alexi Thomas. Can Thomas make something happen? He hits the point man. Sweeney rolls out of it. Terrific. And Calvert Hall, phenomenal defense. And they got a violation on Calvert Hall. He stepped into the box, or into the crease. He still had the ball in his pocket.
Tremendous.
Second chance possession for the Screaming Eggs.
They get one of those opportunities, but a really wonderful defensive sequence for Calvert Hall in that unsettled situation. They stayed in their triangle and were in position for the 2 passes. Handled it magnificent.
Here's Simmons. Simmons comes off the screen, shot off corner, and that's going to be Calvert Hall ball. That is a great play by the defenseman for the Hall, Garrett Sangalia. Sangalia might be the Under Armour underclass player of the game.
He's just made a couple great plays. He's very quick. He's standing on the goal line extended, and he sees somebody about to shoot, and he heads to the end line before the McDonogh attackman does. Really smart, heady play.
Trey Smith with the clear for the Cardinals, who are now within a goal.
And coming back in with that group that gave him a big boost for their first tally.
And this has been a tough field for Calvert Hall historically when they are clearly the #1 team in the area. I believe it was 2012 when Calvert Hall had a top team, and McDonogh ended up beating them in overtime 6-5.
Booker, all the teams in the MIAA except for Gilman and McDonogh play on turf. They practice on turf. They're on it virtually 95% of the time, and grass is different. It's, very few people play on it anymore, and this is a distinct advantage.
Shot that time, Calvert Hall whistles it wide. Kronberger puts his shoulder in net, gets the pass off the ground, tried to make something happen, and in a position where he had to, which is because he slipped. Bob, you just talked about the grass. Is that an example?
Sure.
Clear-cut example?
Absolutely.
Clear-cut example?
Look at this, something McDonogh is thrilled about. A relatively easy clear.
Yeah.
With the ball in Simmons' hands, and they've got one of the second middies stuck on the field. Calvert Hall was able to get Poe on the field.
This is
Jack Conley, and Trey Smith. They were able to get 2 of their defensive stalwart midfield group on the field.
I believe Matty Hillgartner's jogging down on the left wing now as Alex Pitts pushes it behind 15. Haven't seen a lot out of him yet. Pitts now top side. Gets it to Swanson. Swanson has a goal today. Booker Corrigan, Bob Shriver bringing it to you. A lost stick. Simmons. And Bob, that's a desk pop. When was your last desk pop? September 08? And we are going to have a timeout by Coach Kelly, and a good timeout. They were completely cattywampus. They were discombobulated.
Trey Smith broke his stick and had to get off the field.
The score, Calvert Hall Cardinals 3, McDonogh Eagles 2.
3-2 your score. Booker Corrigan, Bob Shriver, and my main man Dan Aburn from inside Lacrosse. Dan, what are you picking up down there? Great game so far, huh, my man?
Yeah, excellent. And as you can see, the McDonogh bench is completely animated this quarter, and Andy Hillgardner's message to them was basically, let's just win the quarter. It's only 3-0. I know you guys in the booth and probably me on the sideline felt like that 3-goal margin was probably a lot more than it was, but they're back in it at 3-2. And I think there's two big adjustments I think you guys should notice. One is that they've given B.J. Farrar a short stick. You know, he was playing with a long pole in the first half, and Grant Murphy was kind of just teeing off on that short stick matchup. They actually moved B.J. Farrar with the short stick and put him on Murphy, and that's kind of been a bit of a difference maker so far this quarter. The other is that they're running the offense through Dane Swanson. He's getting a short stick on that offensive midfield, and I've seen about 2 straight possessions where they've ran the offense up top through him.
And Dan, I got great news for you. They actually pronounce Murphy's last name Mitchell.
Oh, man, you got me, man.
Welcome to the club, buddy. Welcome to the club. One of your best, Bob, was in the Joey Epstein episode.
Oh, yeah, when I had one of his players covering him in the game. It was great.
What do you got? You got an update?
I got updates. St. Mary's is beating Loyola 9-6 with 7 minutes left. St. Paul's and Severn are tied into the fourth, and BL is final over John Carroll, 16-4.
McDonogh possession. Here is Dane Swanson. Back to Simmons. And Pitts on the far wing.
Booker, just quickly, it looks like Coach Hillgardner's trying to get a little bit more offensive production from the attack. He moved his son Andy into the game, who's more of a ball carrier.
His son Matt, too.
Matt, excuse me, into the game. More of a ball carrier than George. Look at Zungalia, almost beat him to the end line again.
Yes, you got to watch Zungalia. That kid, when we played, Bob, somebody do that once or twice a season. Now it happens 2 or 3 times a half. Here's Simmons, top center, one of those really talented midfielders in the MIAA conference this year. Coming off the foot, but still, he's going to salvage his senior year for sure. Here is Powderly.
He's so
Powderly
big.
Skip pass. Simmons.
Nice check.
Gets held a little bit. Ball in and out of his stick. Great ground ball momentarily for Matty Hillgardner. And now Pitts moves it. This is Sweeney. Skip pass all the way up top. Shot bouncer.
Whew. Coach Zungalia watching him. He almost got to that one.
Another broken stick for Calvert Hall on their defense. They got to stop playing with the stuff I played with. We played with Maple. Simmons up top. Dane Swanson now draws his man out, gets a little bit of a step, moves it. Pump fake by Pitts, rolls back lefty.
This is McDonogh offense. People
Swanson shot goal. Swanson from outside with the Paris Hilton.
Scored by number
That's classic McDonogh offense we just watched. They had the ball for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, a couple quality shots, people moving, dodging, creating, getting Calvert Hall to slide a little bit. Swanson standing up. It might be a fair fight if he's at 20 yards. He doesn't have to get too close. Look at this shot, left-handed. Wow.
And he's a guy who came into this season somewhat under the radar. No such luck anymore for opposing defenses. He lit Calvert up in the second half, and it looks like he's prepared to do that to Calvert Hall this afternoon.
Again, that's incorrect. The score is tied. Haven't had a chance to change that graphic yet. It's 3-3.
Ground ball out of the stick of Calvert Hall. It's going to be McDonogh possession and Uncle Mo on the side of the eggs right now. Calvert Hall feel a little bit.
As
McDonogh
a friend of
needs to
mine
get
likes to say, Mr. Mo is
fickle. He is a fickle fan. Simmons getting plenty of run. I'm confident that ankle. He and Tony Finau suffering the same ailment on the same
Simmons
ankle.
is dragging a little bit. Look at him. He's dragging down there a little bit. He'll suck it up, as Jacob Kelly has done.
Tony Finau, the Masters, that was priceless. That comes out and whoops Tiger Woods with an ankle that is black and blue, and we all know the story. Here's Powderly. Zengalia has held Powderly fairly neutralized. Ball deflected. 2-on-1 ground ball here for the Eagles. They get it. Sweeney, nice job. Now he's cornered. Now he slips. Now we're going to, that's hold. That is actually the right call, in my opinion. Cole Herbert's
guilty of sitting there watching what's going on instead of getting back in on defense. You know, they're going to quick whistle everything.
Here's Simmons. McDonogh offense. They've scored the last 3. Third quarter brought to you by the Columbia Bank. Simmons rolls back, slide comes.
Good check.
Checked away, I believe. Not Zengalia. 37 that time. Sean Barwick.
It's going to be a turnover. Oh, they called an offsides on Calvert Hall.
Everything is going the Eagles' way right now.
I'm not sure. That was McDonogh possession. Had been in the box.
Nathan Walsh, number 11 now in the game for the Screaming Eagles. Nathan, a fantastic young man. I had the pleasure of teaching him a couple times back in my days at McDonogh.
This is Sweeney, what looks like a colossal mismatch size-wise. Calvert Hall's Kai Sagoski is in there for a reason. He's been on this defensive midfield consistently.
Here's a flag against Calvert Hall now as they are not in a great position momentum-wise. Third quarter brought to you by the Columbia Bank. Banking made easy. The Columbia Bank is proud to be the official bank of MIAA Lacrosse, thecolumbiabank.com. Bank easier online all the time. Powderly, Zengalia with another timely check. Up top, here's Nathan Walsh. On the wing, shot by Walsh. Never makes it. Derek gets it. And now we'll learn of the foul. I like the shot by Walsh.
This is going to be called against the bench. He's going to put the in-home in the box. He's calling this a technical foul against the Calvert Hall bench. He puts the in-home, which is...
couldn't have been on Brian Kelly because I spoke with him today, and he hardly has a voice.
Number 45.
So
for the
Daniel Kelly's going to
the
serve
in-home
it.
is
Yep,
Daniel Kelly, so he'll serve this bench technical. They refer to that.
Did you ever get a bench technical called against you?
Anything that ever happened on the bench was probably closer to unsportsmanlike.
Just a technical. I mean, come on. That's a coffee and donuts. Let's get into the meat
Actually,
of the buffet.
As much as I used to kind of yell and scream.
Sweeney feeling a shot. Goal. McDonogh Eagles taking the lead. Not at the table, Carlos.
That's one I think Darrow would rather, he'd love to have back. McDonogh does this fake flip that Calvert Hall does, the same play. This time Sweeney held on to it, and they kept letting him come. He's really not in an outstanding position. There's not much to shoot at, but he shot that ball in a great spot. Right on his hip. Look, right on his hip. And that's just a hard save. There's no question. That had some pace on it and some great location.
On the old football lines, that was inside 10 yards.
Yeah, you're right. It
with
was.
His hands free after he had slipped by the defender.
Well,
Slim with the tilted brim.
Well, like the first half looked like it was pretty much all Calvert Hall. McDonogh is come out here in the third quarter with a vengeance. There's BJ
Farrar, and look at the wheels. He hits the point man. Shot goes wide. In on defense for Calvert Hall, Aiden Fritz.
Booker.
Looks like.
Booker.
Yes, sir.
Has Calvert Hall had a shot on goal this quarter?
I wouldn't reckon so. I know our crack statistician who had McDonogh down for one turnover in the first half. I'm sure he has that statistic.
I can't remember a shot.
Neither can I. And there's only 35 seconds left. Columbia Bank, thank you so much. A little shake and bake coming around. That is why Zengalia is going to run it out.
He's something.
And he didn't get it. 33 Simmons was closer to where the ball went out. It's where it went out when it goes out. Will Thompson in on defense for Calvert Hall at present, along with number 44, Trey Smith. 44 Trey Smith is a name we know about. He's the guy who can play both ends of the field. He just sacrifices and does it for the team and plays defense for him.
6 seconds. They need something here.
Powderly, long looping pass shot. Great play. Again, Zengalia gets the backup, this time with 1.4 left. Shoot it, son. It's good if it goes. And that will do it for the third quarter. McDonogh, 4 straight. This is the Kelly & Associates Game of the Week, presented by FCA Lacrosse.
Thunder Bay Apparel is the hottest lacrosse-exclusive clothing line in the game. Thunder Bay's t-shirts and hats flash a little lacrosse lifestyle into your wardrobe. Thunder Bay's pigment-dyed, ring-spun cotton t-shirts immediately feel like you've owned them for years because nobody wants to wear that other polyester fabric every day. Make sure you check out the new styles and designs. All you got to do is click on ThunderBayApparel.com.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes engages their coaches and athletes to grow their faith through sport. Make sure you investigate the amazing camp at Lebanon Valley College this July. The FCA has camps, clinics, huddles, teams. Learn more about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes by going to fcalax.com.
NCAA games to watch. Army-Navy, always a classic for Boo Corrigan, athletic director at Army. We'll say go Army. What else you like, Bob?
Duke, Virginia. Virginia won their first ACC game in a century, it seemed like, and now get an opportunity to play Duke. Johns Hopkins, Penn State. Penn State gave Maryland everything they could handle, except it looked like they lost their face-off ace, Gerard Arceri. Hopkins has been on a roll. Rutgers, Maryland. Rutgers has been on a roll since getting beat by Hopkins, but their guy Hennenberg is some lacrosse player. But Maryland's got a few good ones of their own.
They certainly do. Braun this time facing off against number 30, Ham McPartland. Shot, Screaming Eagles look to take the lead.
That's a neat play, Coach Hillgardner. On those face-offs, they put Simmons down in the left-handed box because of his powerful left hand. He got a chance to tally his second goal on the day and threw it over the cage, and that's a product of Liam Dara standing tall in the goal for Calvert Hall.
And again, McDonogh without the services of the Andrew Hurdle, a young man who I think the absolute world of. Toughest kid you'll find. And he can be a difference maker in a game like this, having Hurdle. 4 or 5 key ground balls, couple good assists, couple hockey assists, you never know.
Sangalia is so intent on beating a shot to the end line. It'd be great to see a McDonogh midi fake a shot, get Sangalia to go to the end line and have that attackman bust.
Number 47, Jake Snyder in for Calvert Hall on defense with Sangalia. Trey Smith, of course, 44, the short stick D mini now behind the goal. Big little play. Powderly comes out. Sangalia has range, too. I mean, he's country strong.
This is another nice matchup. Good cut by Powderly.
Great cut by Powderly.
But Sangalia's range and his long reach has been very problematic for McDonogh.
And right now, Calvert Hall struggling with the clears. Powderly comes away with it. And I didn't think it was a terrible hit. And I love Liam Powderly. So the fact that he drew that penalty, I have an affinity for him. I respect the heck out of him, and he will beat us both on the golf course, Bob.
But
I didn't think that was really a foul. We're going to have our guys run that back. Our viewers will get the advantage of the replay. The referees don't. I'm not complaining about the officiating. I may have called it if I were that ref. But it didn't look like it was much. It was just like a good hit by Trey Smith. Oh, nice little hitch by Hillgardner.
And
ball goes down.
Better defense by Trey Smith.
Yep, broke down very well. Guys, if you could run that back to where the foul was, tremendous opportunity for us to see and feel a little bit for the referees.
He called this a push. He didn't call this unsportsmanlike or a high hit or anything. If we get this replay.
It was a big hit, but it wasn't a dirty hit. And he didn't have a big run at him.
Push called on number 44.
But McDonogh will go on the man up regardless. And again, I am not in any way complaining about the officiating. I just think it's unfortunate that a little scrummy. Here it is.
Here we go. That's a push. I
push
from
behind?
He extended his arms a little bit.
That's fine.
I can see that call. That's fair.
But it's not. It wasn't a 1 minute.
No.
McDonough's number 10, Harrison Beatty here on the right wing. Sweeney up top. Now to Beatty. Powderly.
Stay in this 3-3 now with Sweeney up top. Simmons out on that wing right there. They'd love to get him with his hands free.
We're feed the inside crease. George Ward, he had a great game also against Culver.
Move and pick on McDonogh. Calvert
Hall, take some steam out of it. And the Cardinals with the easy clear, too. They've struggled a little bit clearing in this second half.
Booker, I'm dead serious. I don't think we've seen a shot that Calvert Hall's taken this half.
Jacob Kelly throws it up. Grant Mitchell finds a way to bobble it to the ground, but no McDonogh defender within 10 yards. And put me on that list, I wouldn't go 10 within 10 yards.
And Dan Abram made a good call. They've decided to put BJ with his short stick on this against this midfield so he can cover either Sawyer, but in the case, clearly they're putting him on Mitchell. Keeping the pole on Herbert, and then they get their best defender, basically, with his short stick on Mitchell. It's a heck of an athletic matchup.
Here is Mitchell against Farrar. Farrar cuts the field, forces him left, comes back, shot wide. And I'm sure Evan Long, goaltender for the McDonogh Eagles, was wanting to get a piece of that. Calvert Hall in their road reds. McDonogh home whites. Fourth quarter brought to you by Durham Capital. Durham Capital, proud to be a part of the MIAA lacrosse and the Mid-Atlantic lacrosse scene.
Booker, Loyal, and St. Mary's are in OT. And that St. Paul score was actually at halftime, 3-3 with Severn.
Be interesting to see Boys Latin on Friday. Boys Latin, McDonogh, two unbelievable games so far this week. And then next Friday, it's Calvert Hall, Boys Latin. So here's Daniel Kelly.
He wants to come back to his left hand, just like his brother. They're going to try to work a little two-man game. They've been doing this in the backyard their whole lives, and it was almost perfection.
And Daniel Kelly rolls back with possession. I don't know how he came out of that with that ball. And here's B.J. Farrar. Ball clicks off his heel, and Mitchell comes up with it.
Great ground ball.
Sawyer with a nice pickup. Valuable possession right now for Calvert Hall, and they need it. Sawyer wants to turn the corner, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is a foul, and we have a Bastille Day celebration. Three flags on the field.
Actually, this is pretty lucky, I think. Sawyer falls down. The guy's going to get his stick on him, but when he falls down, the guy that's chasing from behind just runs him over, and it's a push from behind. Very good, and there's another guy we saw slip on the grass.
Yeah.
Calvert Hall with a much-needed extra man. They're bringing in big number 50, Pete Ilardo.
He shoots the ball. He's been clocked at 193,000 miles an hour.
That's the speed. Almost, no. 183,000 miles per second is the speed of light.
So
Booker, see if we don't see a little flip here with Calvert Hall. Up here in the corner with Herbert and maybe Daniel Kelly. Now they're just going to run their left-handed rotation. There's that flip.
Herbert, fake flip, still has it. Goes down, gets it to Sawyer. Now it's Ilardo. This is Big Peter Ilardo, number 50. Jacob Kelly, top center, inside feed, shot, goal! And it is Quattro de Tayo, Bob.
Booker, that's Jack Sawyer's, I think, 6th shot on the day in his first tally. He's been working hard on the inside. They fed him in there about 3 or 4 times today. This is he gets lost. He and Jacob Kelly exchanged. Jake was in on the crease. He came up high. Sawyer replaced Kelly, and McDonogh lost him right there. And he makes a beautiful shot. We have, what's this, tied at 4 with 6 minutes in.
Fourth quarter. I tell you what, I'd pay to see these two teams play again. This has been an absolutely delightful experience. McDonogh wins the faceoff, one they needed. Gable Braun certainly well beyond capable, as Riley Mitchell now in. He got a couple runs in the first half, didn't get a chance to really call his name. Daughter of Kim Mitchell, one of the long-time teachers here at McDonogh. Every kid who's gone through the lower school absolutely speaks so highly of Mrs. Mitchell. Simmons to Mitchell.
This is interesting. They've put a short stick. Oh, no, I apologize. They've matched up poles.
This is Beatty. Beatty wants to turn the right side. Sweeney, right to right split dodge. Trey Smith on him for the Cardinals. Little sky whammy to the inside. Liam Powderly now. Comes off the pick from Beanie.
Zingalia's got the benefit of being so big and tall. He doesn't have to, catch up to anybody.
Yeah.
Just, 4 steps for Liam and 2.5 for Zingalia, and he's caught up.
Here is Pitts. Now Simmons. Going against Connolly. Rolls back to Pitts. Inside feed shot just ticks off the stick of Liam Dara.
Dara standing tall. McDonogh running their offense, moving the ball, moving their bodies. They end up with a stone-cold layup inside. There's Dara, another nice save.
Tell you what,
But a bad
errant
play.
pass. Who's open? Find someone else open. They keep moving it. Shot. Dara with, what doesn't he do? I mean, remarkable.
3 great saves in a row.
Mark at 8, dude. That's his 8th save of the day.
That time, McDonough's Nate Harrison Beatty could have thrown that ball back to Powderly, and he would have been able to come in for a layup.
Zingalia against B.J. Farrar. Here's 2 guys with some talent. And Zingalia just lobs it over his back. Evan Long comes up with it. He gets double teamed, pushes it. And now McDonogh playing a little broom hockey. And the Kelly boys came all the way from one side of the field to the other.
Now Coach
And
Hillgartner.
it's a great timeout. Calvert Hall with everything headed towards the goal. They had half the guys on their bench coming off to head towards the goal. 4-4 your score. You are watching the Kelly & Associates MIAA Game of the Week presented by FCA Lacrosse.
The MIAA is the most competitive lacrosse conference in the country. The 2018 MIAA Lacrosse Semifinals and Championships will be held May 15th and 18th at Towson University's Johnny Unitas Stadium. For a glimpse into the future of the collegiate game, the MIAA, where the stars of tomorrow play for a championship today.
Let's get down to the sideline. Our man from Inside Lacrosse, Dan Aburn. Dan, any huddle reactions?
Yeah, just listening in and on to the McDonogh huddle right there. Andy Hillgartner just kind of preaching, let's just stay poised in this situation. It's a tie game. It's not like we're down. We just have to, steady this possession, get the ball back. Big emphasis in the second half after those failed clears in the first half has been the clearing game. We've seen that clean up a lot in the second half.
Dan Aburn, our man down there on the sideline, taking on the Jellies. You got serious thrill issues, man. Bob, what do you like?
Well, I like what we just saw. What a thrower must have been over there at Hardigan Field on the campus of Loyola High School. Down 9-6 with about 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They apparently tied the game with 1 second left. It went into overtime, and we just got a report that they won. What a great game.
I believe there were no sightings of number 31 on the field, but we'll have to wait for the full report. Calvert Hall possession.
Coming out of this timeout in a little zone.
Sure.
Coach Hillgartner mixing it up.
And, Bob, for our viewers, I was always taught in the Corrigan family, you can identify a zone, just send a cutter through. If you suspect they're in zone, just send a cutter through.
And Mitchell throws a bad pass, and McDonogh is under him again.
Rich Dion, Powderly, Sweeney wants to drive up.
Great defense by Walsh.
Phenomenal transition defense. Inside, B.J. Farrar, bounce pass. If you will it is no dream.
After playing
Vladimir Ulyanach Lenin. Oh, yes.
Booker, this happens a lot. After playing great defense on this unsettled, they forget the short stick defensive mid. Look at Farrar standing wide open on the crease. Nobody's looking at him. Farrar, he didn't get a lot on that pass, but he threw it to the right guy, and that was Simmons. Look, watch. Farrar, look, nobody's paying any attention to him. He's a short stick defensive midi.
He proved it by bouncing the pass to him. He's still got an assist.
He threw that ball to the right guy, and he got it to him. That's the play. Forget the bounce. It's a terrific play.
He would have been kicking himself. He catches it on the crease. I'm sure his mind was going back to Crush from Finding Nemo. Grab shell, dude. Hold on.
Braun's had a heck of a second half. Terrific second half at the X.
5-4 now, McDonogh, who once trailed 3-0 here at halftime. Sweeney pushes it. Here's Powderly.
Booker, two things happened on that last goal for McDonogh. McDonogh came out of that timeout, went in the zone. Calvert Hall thought they were just going to throw the ball around the outside the perimeter a little bit before they got rolling, and Mitchell threw a bad pass. It bounced, and on the grass, it's not going to bounce true. And then Liam beat that guy, BJ Farrar beat that guy to the ground ball that started that transition that culminated in Simmons' goal, his second of the day.
Maddie Hilgartner, number 4, possessing. Should mention we had a nice conversation with Shay before the game today. Maddie's mom. Here's Griffin Catlett looking to dig in on Trey Smith. Does so momentarily. Powderly behind. Dane Swanson wants it on the wing. Zengalio on Powderly. Little roll back.
Zengalia's reach.
It is.
Liam Fitz.
I coached the young man, Michael Jarvis, who ended up going to Carolina to play. He had the same just width. Simmons, now a shot clock against McDonogh with the 2:09 mark on the clock. Catlett shot goal!
Jiminy Christmas.
Hooper drives the boat, Chief.
Booker Catlett hadn't done much this year so far for McDonogh. He really hasn't, but he just showed his ability. This is like Mitchell's goal earlier for Calvert Hall. Look, this is a big strapping kid. He's just bearing in. And he doesn't even have to step away. He's got 44 on his back shoe, so to speak, and just blast this thing. Look at the pace on this. Wow. Into the far corner. Unsavable.
Something on that.
That score is now McDonogh 6, Calvert Hall 4. And the biggest difference in this half for sure has been McDonogh's poise, but also Braun's ability at the face-off.
Braun's ability at the face-off has been a bit of a difference maker. Time to start talking about who's going to be the Under Armour underclass tryout player of the game. Those underclass tryouts happening end of May, early June. Rep your region and go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com and check out the new T-shirts they're selling to rep your region. Unbelievable tournament. Baltimore had a huge game with Long Island in the championship of the underclass region. We had the pleasure of seeing that game, Bob. Dara gets it to Sawyer. And BJ Farrar all over him. BJ Farrar as quick as a hiccup. Calvert Hall may use a timeout here. They are down 2. Cole Herbert across. Here's Mitchell. In and out of his stick again. He is going to run and go. Rolls back lefty. Run it sideways a little bit. Now he's downhill dodging. And McDonogh looks like they're calling out for their zone defense with 1:11 left.
They're staying man, Booker.
Fourth quarter brought to you by Durham Capital. And Daniel Kelly comes up with the ground ball, and there we hear the timeout call. Fantastic job by Coach Brian Kelly. Can they draw up something to score 2 goals? Bob, we're going to stay here during the break. It's great to have companies like Toyota, Towson Hot Bagels, Columbia Bank, all those Valley Inn sponsors, and of course Durham Capital Training Lace bringing us the halftime show. Bob, if you're Coach Brian Kelly, are you feeding the stud and getting it to Mitchell or Jacob Kelly, or do you use them as, as a pick guy, see if they don't switch and get an easy one?
Well, Herbert's done virtually nothing in the game. He's been very quiet, and that's a product of McDonogh putting the pole on him. Mitchell's gotten a couple nice goals. Jacob Kelly, his sickness is certainly been a factor in this game because he's really done. It's like no game we've ever seen Jacob Kelly in before.
Right.
He really hasn't been able to influence the game. I think they got to try to get the ball to Sawyer, to Mitchell. I'm guessing McDonogh's going to come out in the zone and at least force them to eat up 10, 15, 20 seconds before a quality shot. and McDonogh knows they're going to win the next face-off, so they're not too nervous in that McDonogh huddle.
McDonogh versus Boys Latin at 4:15 on Friday the 13th. Bob, you worried at all about being on the air with me on Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th, I've never thought anything about. No,
okay.
It's just another day on the calendar.
You're not superstitious. You're a little bit stitious.
I'd be more worried if I was working with you on April Fool's Day.
You should be. Hey, Dan, where would you rather be, April Fool's Day or Friday the 13th with Booker?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm
Here
going
we
to
go.
April Fool's Day because you make me laugh, Booker.
Kelly spins it behind. Herbert looking to feed the crease. McDonogh clearly in the zone. Skip past to Jacob Kelly. Ducks under, shot, sells out the whole thing, and the whistle has to blow because he's in the crease.
They called a push.
They called a push
They're
against
gonna give
McDonogh.
Calvert Hall the ball back. Jacob trying to make something happen.
Sure, 45.5 left.
The zone has proved effective. They went to it at the end of the first half, and it prevented them from going down 4-0. And then they've used it in a couple timely possessions here. This game's over, Booker.
Errant pass, and now the ball goes back the other side. Should that have been an over and back immediately? Yeah. See what happens here. Mitchell comes up with it. Long shot goes wide, and that's going to be McDonogh possession, no doubt about it. And just when you think you couldn't see it happen,
BJ should go down here and get this ball. He's a little tired, and get on his motor. Watch this. This will be fun to watch. Although Long's open, BJ just got maybe not. Here he goes.
BJ Farrar is going to just leg this. Bob, Under Armour underclass player of the game. Who do you like?
Booker, I'd give it honestly to BJ or to Gable Braun, the face-off guy, who I think really helped set the tone. Calvert Hall had the ball the whole second half. And I'll leave that up to you. Jack Simmons coming back. BJ's looking out on the field. He's got cramps in his legs. Honestly, I'd go with Gable Braun. I think the ability of McDonogh to keep possession of the ball the entire second half influenced this game greatly.
6-4 your final score. Dan Aburn will be back after the break with an interview with Gable Braun for Bob Schreiber and the entire crew at Invicta for doing an amazing job today. I'm Booker Corrigan reminding you, you only get one shot at today.
The MIAA is the most competitive lacrosse conference in the country. The 2018 MIAA Lacrosse Semifinals and Championships will be held May 15th and 18th at Towson University's Johnny Unitas Stadium. For a glimpse into the future of the collegiate game, the MIAA, where the stars of tomorrow play for a championship today.
Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll helps employers and employees save time, money, and hassle in navigating the intricacies of insurance, benefits, payroll, and workforce challenges. Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll is pleased to support CSE TV and the Game of the Week. Visit kellyway.com to put their people, technology, and services to work for you.
Great news! Corrigan Sports Enterprises and Inside Lacrosse are pleased to announce that registration is open for coaches to nominate their most deserving seniors to be Under Armour All-Americans. Underclass tryout registration is also open, and we've added a new region, the Connecticut-New York region, for information and to register. Grad years from 2019 to 2022 need to go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com.
Thunder Bay Apparel is the hottest lacrosse-exclusive clothing line in the game. Thunder Bay's t-shirts and hats flash a little lacrosse lifestyle into your wardrobe. Thunder Bay's pigment-dyed, ring-spun cotton t-shirts immediately feel like you've owned them for years because nobody wants to wear that other polyester fabric every day. Make sure you check out the new styles and designs. All you got to do is click on ThunderBayApparel.com.
The Under Armour tryouts remain the premier recruiting event of the summer for high school players looking to be seen by college coaches at every level. Step up and measure yourself against the best players in your region. Register at UnderArmourLacrosse.com. The Summer Rumble is headed back to Richmond June 9th and 10th, and we are now a U.S. Lacrosse National Qualifier and sanctioned event. The Rumble brings together a wealth of top talent from the best club programs at the amazing River City Sportsplex with their 12 lighted turf fields. As a U.S. Lacrosse sanctioned event, you can expect the highest quality tournament regarding operations, safety, and experience. Go to cselax.com for information and to register now. Corrigan Sports Enterprises is a full-service sports marketing and event management company. Every detail from marketing, public relations, logistics, and cleanup, Corrigan Sports Enterprises handles events from conception to fruition. The premier lacrosse and field hockey recruiting tournaments and high-profile running events. Corrigan Sports Enterprises, bringing your dreams to life.
The MIAA is the most competitive lacrosse conference in the country. The 2018 MIAA Lacrosse Semifinals and Championships will be held May 15th and 18th at Towson University's Johnny Unitas Stadium. For a glimpse into the future of the collegiate game, the MIAA, where the stars of tomorrow play for a championship today.
What's up, guys? Dan Aber down here with the player of the game, Gabriel Braun. You guys were down 3-0 at halftime. You end up winning 6-4. What was the message at halftime?
You know, just play as a team, keep it together. We knew we had what it took, and we just fought. That's what we do, we fight.
Was there any particular adjustment at the face-off X that you guys made, whether it was personally for you or as a unit, that led to that success you guys had at the dot in the second half?
I mean, the reason we're winning all these face-offs is because, you know, we play as a unit, we play as three, play as one. There's not really any adjustments we made. We just kept on fighting hard, and things went our way.
Now, this is a crucial MIAA regular season game for you guys. How pumped are you to get this victory today?
We're really excited to get this victory. You know, we've been looking forward to this game for a really long time, but we still have a long road ahead of us, and we need to keep on fighting.
Well, congratulations, Gable, on the huge win. Guys, thanks for watching today. Watch our next broadcast on Tuesday. We'll see you then.
So we're showing he's a little bit of a full field. Catlich saved by Dara. This is Kronberger. Kronberger driving, has a lane shot. Goal, Kronberger!